everyone, it's Bethany, and in this tutorial I am going to be making some really cute planner stickers. I have a tutorial on how to make these that I did last year, but I wanted to do an updated version, and the main difference is I am going to be using printable vinyl from Cricut instead of their sticker paper. So in my previous tutorial I used sticker paper. It was actually my first and last time using sticker paper. I found that it was way too thick and very hard to use in my printer, so I didn't find it very user friendly, but I love printable vinyl. I use this all the time. It's so easy to use and I always love the results. So I'm going to be doing an updated little tutorial on how to make little planner stickers with your Cricut machine. I'm going to be using my Cricut Explorer 2. You can also use your Cricut Maker, but you cannot use the Cricut Joy for this project because this project is going to be print then cut, and the Joy does not support print then cut projects. So I know I'm going to get that question over and over in the comments, so I want to be clear about that. This is not a Cricut Joy project. The only material you're going to need is your printable vinyl, your machine, and then a printer, and I will show you what printer I use in this tutorial coming up. Alright, let's head into Design Space and get our stickers all designed.
Okay, so now that I'm in Cricut Design Space, what I did was I went into images just to find some files that I wanted to create stickers from, and this is what I personally chose. So I'm also going to show you how to do that by bringing in one more image. So these are all cut files, and I'm going to show you how to make them into stickers in just a moment. So before I do that, let me go and create one more sticker by going into images, and then I'm going to type in coffee mug and get a little coffee mug for one of my stickers. So I'm going to select this with the heart on it. I'm going to insert my image, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to size that down a little bit, make that bigger once more, and then what I liked to do is I actually edited the colors of the files, so it was just a way of making them all coordinate, plus it's a way to use some of your favorite colors and personalize them to your own personality. So what you can do to change colors is you're just going to select the layer that you want to change in the layers panel on the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and select the outline of the coffee mug. I'm going to come up to the color panel up here, and then I'm going to change that to pink. Then I'm going to select the heart. I'll change that to white, and then I'll select the coffee and I'll select a more of a caramel color. Okay, so that's how I edited the individual files just to make them a little bit more visually pleasing to my color palette. So now what I want to do is I want to make these stickers. So right now you will notice that in the layers panel they all say cut, and that means that they are created as a cut file, which is good for vinyl or for heat transfer vinyl or iron-on, but it's not ideal for stickers. So what you want to do next is you want to flatten them. So I'm going to select my first little planner over here, and I am going to see over here that it is made up of multiple layers, and if I leave it like this, it's going to create a sticker that has multiple layers, and I don't want that. I want it to all be one layer and one sticker. So I have it again all selected, and watch over here. So I have all these layers, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select flatten, and what that does is it takes all those layers and flattens them into one layer, and now it is labeled print then cut. Now this is a good time to remind you that this is a print then cut project. You can only do this on the Maker and the Explorer 2, but the print then cut feature is not on the Cricut Joy, so you can't do this with the Cricut Joy. So now I just flattened my image, and flattening takes a file from a cut file to a print then cut file. So I can go ahead and do that again with my next image. So again, I highlighted my Cricut machine. You'll see it's made up of multiple different layers. I'm going to select flatten, and now it is a print then cut file, and it is one layer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for all of my files. You'll notice they get a more smooth visual look to them once they're flattened, so you'll know that they're flattened. So again, flatten and flatten, and you can choose any type of images that you personally want to use. Okay, and flatten, doing the last couple, and now you can see in my layers panel that all of my sticker choices are all print then cut. So that is exactly what we want. So now what I want to do is I want to create a sheet of stickers, and I want them to look really nice. So I'm going to zoom out here for a second. Then I'm going to come over to my shapes. I'm going to select a square, And then I'm going to just make this white, and then I'm going to right click on my square and say send to back so I can place it behind my stickers. But I want to size this. So the print and cut feature has a size restriction of 6.75 by 9.25, so that's the largest it can print. So I am going to make a template that is 6.75 by 9.25. That way I can visually see how much space I have to work with, and then this also allows me to get the most out of my printable vinyl because I can fit as many stickers within this space as I want, and then I can go ahead and get them printed on my printer and then cut out with my Cricut machine. So now once I've done that, what I can do is I can just go through here and I can say duplicate, and I can just arrange all my stickers where I would like them on the sheet. So I'm just going to go through and get them duplicated. So I'm going to take my little donut, I'll duplicate that little guy and put it here. I will duplicate, let's see, maybe the Bible, duplicate, bring it here, and I'm just going to start duplicating and placing all of my stickers around my sheet so I can fit as many as I can within this surface area. Okay, so now I have them all arranged how I would like them. So now I can take my big template, which is that large rectangle in the back, and I can just delete that because I'm already done. But now before I hit the Make It button, what I want to do is I want to make sure that my Cricut prints them and cuts them, or my printer prints them and my Cricut cuts them exactly how I have them here. So what I want to do is I want to highlight everything and I want to say attach. And attaching tells my Cricut that I want my whole project to be placed just like this. So then I can go ahead and say Make It. Okay, so now it has placed all of my stickers exactly how I arranged them on my piece of printable vinyl. You'll notice that it has a black box around it, which is normal, and I will talk to you about that in just a little bit. And then you'll see that it reminds us it's a print and cut project. So now I can go ahead and say continue, and then I can say send to printer. So now I have my printer selected right here. I'm going to be doing one copy. I always like to turn bleed on, and this is when I will load my printer with my printable vinyl. So I always recommend trying to print this out first on just a piece of printer paper. That way you can check your ink, check your colors, make sure everything looks like you want it to look and like you expect it to look. That way you don't waste any trial runs on printable vinyl because it's much more expensive than just a plain piece of paper. So do your tests on a piece of paper. If you like everything, then load your printable vinyl in your printer and then go ahead and print again. So I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, this is supposed to be a 1. So I'm going to go ahead and load my printable vinyl and select print. Once my design has been printed out on my printer, I can go ahead and browse all materials. I'll go down to vinyl. I can go ahead and select printable vinyl as my setting and say done, and then I will load my matte.
Okay, so now that my design has printed on my printable vinyl, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it right on my blue light grip mat. And again, I'm going to place it on my mat with the black box on it. You don't want to do any cutting. You want to place it right off of your printer onto your mat, just as it is. Then I'm just going to use my brayer tool to flatten it down. Now I want to remind you that before you do a print and cut project, you want to make sure that your machine is calibrated. And it's super easy to do, but it helps the accuracy of your machine when cutting print and cut projects, and I'll place a link to a tutorial on how to do that in the top right corner because it's super easy, but it's super important. So I'm going to go ahead and load my machine. My machine is already calibrated, and then I'm going to press the Cricut button. Now what you'll notice first is that it's actually going to have a little flashlight on your little sensor, and it's going to scan those black registration boxes to see where they're located. And it's doing that so that it knows that once it has located that black box, it knows where to cut within the box and where all of your stickers are located for the cut. Okay, so my Cricut is cutting out right now, but I have to tell you that I had to pause and recalibrate my machine because my stickers were cutting out really, really off. So look at this little backpack right here. It's completely off from where it's supposed to cut. So what I did was I pressed pause on my machine, I unloaded it, and then I went through the whole calibration process because as you can see, it's not even cutting accurately. So sometimes that happens if you notice that your Cricut is cutting really, really off for print and cut. I would recommend trying to recalibrate your machine. I went ahead and did that, and I've been watching it really closely as it's cutting out now, and it seems to be doing much better. But before I recalibrated, it was being a complete stinker and not cutting them out very nice. So let's go ahead and check the next one. Okay, so my next sheet has been cut, so I'm going to go ahead and turn over my mat and bend that mat off of my material, and they look so much better. Okay, so that worked perfectly. So if you notice that your stickers aren't cutting out nice, be sure that first of all you've calibrated, but if you've already calibrated, then make sure you recalibrate. So now if you look and see, all the stickers are cut out perfectly, exactly as they should. So now I can place these in my planner. What I also like to do is I like to trim off this little black box now that it's done cutting. Again, you want to keep the black box on before cutting because it is very, very important for the print and cut. It wouldn't be able to do it without it. But now that it's all done, I can cut that off and make it even more attractive. So I just have my little Cricut paper trimmer here. I love using this. And what I can do is just line it up and get some nice clean cuts so that it cuts off that little black piece. Okay, so I just trimmed off all of the edges, and then I have a final sheet of stickers, which I think looks so cute. So now what I can do is I can save this file in Design Space. That way, once I run out of stickers, then I can just reprint and then cut and then have another fresh new sheet. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. Please be sure to give this a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you in the next video.